too?
Probably. Aaron does a good job down there. He's got that whole thing. All right, we're live.
I'll call the Guthrie Planning Commission meeting to order for Thursday, April 9th, 2015. Can we have a roll call, please, Mr. Muzzin?
Absolutely. Chairman Powell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chapman,
Yes.
Commissioner Coffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ogden,
Yes.
and Commissioner Wood.
Present.
All present.
Item 2, is there any public comments?
You want to sign up for public comments? Need to sign up for public comments? Okay.
Hearing none, I'll move to item 3, approval of the minutes for March 12th, 2015.
I motion to approve. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Can we have a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Chairman Powell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chapel,
Excuse me. Abstain.
Oh,
Back up,
abstain.
let me abstain, I was not here. I'm sorry.
you're abstaining.
Abstain.
Commissioner Coffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ogden,
Yes.
and Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
All right, 3 ayes, 2 abstain. Motion carries.
Item 4 is discussion and approval of application 2015-20112897 regarding rezoning from A1 to C2 for the property located at 724 East Prairie Grove.
To the Planning Commission, I just want to point you to the screen. I thought that this would be a good visual for everyone to understand exactly kind of where we're talking about. You see the applicant's already existing business right here. Of course, this is the south end of the Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport runway. So with that being said, I'll open it back up to you.
Cody, could you show us exactly where he's wanting to put this in at? But with your,
Barry, I'll just kind of take a quick, I think the applicant's here to show you.
Thank you.
That area where my handwriting is, it says, there's 2 parcels, it's parcel 1 and parcel 2. Because back in when this property came into being, it was own legal descriptions and own abstract. So parcel 1 is just to the west of the existing storage property behind Tony's place. And then parcel 2 is a little strip, about right in there where this pointer was, that's a 106-foot wide strip.
Can you see the place that
that's
Mr. Carver
Tony's
was talking
place.
about right before there?
yeah, that'd be Tony's.
Staff had any report or comments? I'm assuming that the letters went out to the folks within 300 feet, anything back?
Letters went out. These actually went out notifying of the public hearing at the city council meeting next, the 19th of this month, I believe is the date. So let me double check that. Actually, I think it's the 21st now. Yep, it's the 21st. So we'll hear public comments at that point as well. So
On the same subject?
Well, the letter I got talked about tonight's meeting and
yes,
the city council.
yes, we briefed everyone that there would be a discussion on it here as well tonight. So no one's here. I guess the neighbor's here.
I think my concern is, Mr. Waddell, I'm sorry, do you have any concerns about this or problems with it?
I talked to Barry coming in here. He came and talked to me a
I
couple
mean,
of
it
weeks
affects
ago.
you more than anybody.
Yeah, he came and talked to me a couple of weeks ago, and he's been really good with the storage over there on the sites there now. And he come and talked to me about the 2 acres behind me there, put it on the far end there. It wouldn't be up close to the fence. I mean, it could be, but he said he would keep it back up there. I just didn't realize that parcel 2 was going to be zone commercial too. I talked to him about it on the way in.
Is that a problem for you?
Yeah, is that a problem?
Is that a problem for you?
Not really. He's just talking about maybe having to have a drive in there, and if it's storage, they're not in there just every day anyway. They're just kind of sporadic, and I don't believe it'd be kind of a problem at all.
And that was what was your plan for that? Was to be a road back?
Yeah, if we ever need it, that can be a drive off of Prairie Grove, a second drive for
Does that have to be zoned to be a drive?
No, and to just give you a little backstory on 2 things, is before I even came to Cody, I went to see Tony. Tony and I have been neighbors forever. And asked Tony to make sure he was okay with everything, and Tony and I visited, and then I came to the city. the second thing is, as you can see on that map that's pink and pink, that's all zone C2. And for years, this whole area's been zone Z2, that where it's green and parcel 2 and that doesn't have a color, that was all zone Z or C2. I requested rezoning probably 20 years ago now, and I moved a double wide house in there when I moved back to Guthrie in '93. So before it was zone C2, so I took it to, at the city's request, to agriculture, I think it is.
So all of what we see here is C2 now is now A? Is that what you're
No, it's all C2.
Oh, yeah.
The A is that's in green, and that strip that I labeled parcel 2 is actually agricultural as well. It's just not on the map correct. So the reason we're here is because I did this 20 years ago and goofed it up for now. So it's always been zoned that. And Tony's place, I don't know, the map's kind of wrong on the colors. I don't know if Tony's is zoned agricultural or residential or
It was, I
what.
think, when I first bought the property, and something was done not long after I bought it. I don't keep up with a lot of things there. And it was, I think, rezoned, I thought,
Yeah.
to a different zoning, because they said it's really tough to do anything when it's zoned the way it was zoned. You know, I couldn't build on the house, I couldn't do certain things.
Yeah, and Tony operates his well business from there too, so that helps him too to build.
I see on the thing we got here that all of this property appeared to be yours.
Yes, sir.
Is this also C, even though you?
That is agricultural, according to your map,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
agricultural.
The
Yep.
teal,
Oh, I
is
see,
the green
okay.
looking, is all agriculture.
Are you
all the-
anticipating requesting that to be changed one day?
No, I mean,
You still own the property west of that, right?
yes, sir.
You-
I own
yeah,
That's
you own
agriculture,
it as
that's
well.
not been changed yet either?
Yeah.
That's got a house on it, right?
Yes, my house is, it doesn't really show up on that map, but my house is just to the west of
It's
the
up on
green.
that map here.
Don't you have a little red house right there too?
Yeah, we've got a
Yeah.
little house
Yeah.
between,
Yeah, just right in the green.
it's just
right?
on, yeah, just on the green. There's a 106-foot wide strip, that parcel 2,
Right.
between Tony's and this little rent house.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
And then I own all the land to the north and the land to the west, and those are my apartments out there on Division that's just off screen. So I've got
There's
approximately,
your house right there, isn't it?
yeah, that's my house right there. And I hope I'm not sunbathing in the nude back there. So,
Zoom in, Cody. If there's any illicit activity.
well,
I guess my question might be then is why are you requesting the little sliver here? And by the way, when first time I was over there, really nice looking unit.
Thank
by
you
the
so
way.
much.
I think it's a tribute to the whole area. And I assume you're carrying the same theme
Yes, sir.
back through here?
Yes, sir.
And I guess my only concern was, I know Tony a little bit, is you're gonna be totally surrounded, and were you figuring to put units in there also along that strip, or?
The reason we did that is, number one, to get the 106 feet in the back to add on to that parcel behind Tony's.
Or maybe across here, maybe?
Yeah, back there. And then to get in there, we'd have a drive if we ever needed it. And
I see.
I don't know that we'll need it, but if we do, I want that option to get customers back that direction. And that's, like I said, 106 feet wide. And I think, Tony, what are you, about 100 feet deep maybe? I don't remember exactly, but just a little drive.
He would be
218,
427 from 660.
You're only 100 foot deep on your
No,
side?
no.
No,
Maybe 150.
About 150.
About 140.
660 and 428.
140 by 218, give or take.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I think it was
240 by
218.
218.
So that would just be an area for a drive to get customers back there if we ever needed.
I mean, I think it certainly would be a nice addition with any problem, as long as we don't have a problem with the homeowner.
Right.
And that would be my consideration
That's
too
my
for you.
biggest
I was just,
concern is
the main
Tony.
thing is
Tony would be the one
that
that-
you all talked, and if you had a problem with it, then I think that there might be a problem with everything.
I really can't foresee it, because like I say, they're not in there constantly running up and down the road or anything, you know.
Because I think that'll even help, yeah, and that would be good for everything. You run yours over there, and I don't feel that that's an issue.
Explain to me, since it's gonna be if we approve it and council approves it, if it goes to C2, and I'm sort of new to the commission, Why then will there be a special use permit? Is that because of the C2?
I can answer that one. Actually, during the fall of 2014, with some different things that were going on, there was a circumstance where a residentially zoned area had a couple different lots available, or I'm sorry, a commercially zoned area had a couple different lots available, but residences had surrounded it. I think that we talked about this during the last meeting.
Nelson Heights.
Technically, yeah, Nelson Heights, thank you. Technically, a storage unit facility would have no issues with going in there because of the zoning. There were some argument back and forth with the different neighbors. Then another situation arose where Frank Battle had contacted me regarding his space, his former space out there on Highway 33, and some different regulations that he had put in place back when he was still planning it. And there were a lot of different concerns based around storage unit facilities specifically. And so the council decided, I looked at it this afternoon, I think it was in December, to require all storage unit facilities to have a special use permit as well. And so you guys would be making that recommendation tonight to approve that that special use permit, but that is done in a separate motion and formality and those kinds of things.
And not that it's an issue here, but if we approve both of these parcels and the special request, would there be anything that would keep someone from putting storage units in parcel 2?
They would,
Or are we just approving parcel 1 and the special request?
I requested 1 and 2.
the adjacent to
Special use
724.
Well, Cody put the
Correct.
special use on there, I didn't know about all
Okay.
that.
Okay, Barry, why
But with the
why would you
special
go ahead
use-
and include the rest of this land to the west with it if you want to rezone it as C2?
We can, I mean, I have
No, I mean, no, we can't do it tonight, but I just wondered why we just took this little partial out and you didn't just do that whole
I
square.
have no intentions at this time for storage. I could put a house there.
Residential area, yeah.
I could put a
okay.
house.
So what we prefer to stay agriculture on that then? Is that what we're saying?
Yes, sir.
And Tony's, as far as we know, it may be agricultural. We're not sure.
Are
yours
you on my property? I don't know.
Okay.
I just live there. Try to mow if I can.
Well, Jewel,
Try to mow
she's
if
a
I
loss.
can, yeah.
Well, I would say if Mr. Waddell has no problems, as we've discussed here, I'd make a recommendation that we approve the application.
Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I heard
For
first
me.
motion right there.
I second.
And second.
Motion's been made second. We have a vote, please.
Absolutely. Chairman Powell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chapel,
Yes.
Commissioner Coffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ogden,
Yes.
and Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
Now, do we need to address the special use permit?
We will, and again, like I mentioned earlier, it's just because all storage unit business or anyone operating a storage unit business is gonna have to come for this special use permit now moving forward, just because a couple different hot political items.
Can we do this tonight?
Yeah, you
With a
can.
motion?
You can.
I
You
would
can.
entertain a motion for a special use permit.
I'd make a motion for the special use permit.
Second?
Motion's been made second.
Can I make a
Vote, please,
comment?
mister.
Is this for both special units, on both parcels they just talked about?
Yes.
Okay. If it's just gonna be a road back there, does it have to have a special use permit?
No, no. But if we're talking about lumping both properties together under the same zoning criteria, these would go before council at the same time as well.
You have a problem with that, Mr.
You-
Wood?
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah, we know we're here for you too.
I trust Barry. I have no
I
problem.
promise you, I won't build storage as long as.
I know, I trust Barry. He's done everything on that storage
Okay,
now.
it was on TV.
Even when I built
I can take that.
the ones that's there now, there's no storage units facing my way, and they can't drive up in there, so he's done everything to please, you know.
I think I saw him talking to Do It Construction too, Tony, down
Do
there,
what?
but the other one's building the new road down there on our side of the other side.
Okay, Mr. Woodell, if you don't have any complaints, then I'll entertain, the motion's been made and seconded. I'll take a vote, please, Mr. Mosley.
Chairman Powell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chapel,
Yes.
Commissioner Coffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Ogden,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Motion carries. There's really hardly any comment on that one. Would you mind me stealing one of those copies if one of the commissioners don't mind? Is there an extra one down there?
Yeah.
I will make sure that we
Sorry, it's
get
supposed to be orange, but I ran out of orange ink. It's pink now. So.
We'll get a full legal drawn up for these through the county on our end. It's not anything we're asking you to do, and the legal will actually be what goes before as far as a full zoning transition. So
Yeah,
Does
you
this
should.
go before the, does this go before the new council or the old council?
we wrote that there would be a public meeting on the during the next city council meeting, so it will go before the current council. And they can always choose to table it if they want. I don't know. I can't speak for what they'll do, but it's always an option, I guess, technically.
Technically, before a new council, you might have to recuse yourself.
Yeah, I made on that one, I probably would have to recuse myself out of that.
Probably would, Brenda would probably suggest that.
All right, item 6 is staff comments.
Following up from our last month's meeting, you'll see some of the items that we talked about during that. I've been having a lot of fun researching the, I call it light blight with the spotlights. Again, we've talked with the new church that was out there near you, Commissioner Ogden, and we've continued reaching out to that. But you'll see some of those different things that we talked about during the last month's meeting coming up in your May, possibly June, but I expect most things are going to be on May. Commissioner Chappell and I talked about a couple different things, and so I'm going to turn it over to, I'm going to stop talking and let board comments take over, and I know that Commissioner Chappell has a few things to add.
Well,
Item 7 is board comments. Go ahead, Mr. Chappell.
yeah, you know I am. And actually, having got to, and I did get to watch the meeting. I showed up for this meeting on Friday. It was actually a little embarrassing because I ran into Aaron's office and I saw you all meeting on TV. So I ran up here and no one was here, and it was sort of confusing to me. So, but he said, well, I said, where are they? Is there another room? He said, no, we met the night before. But having read the minutes and the way they've been written up here on the carport issue, I feel pretty comfortable with what was mentioned. I did notice that there was a lot of conversation about what carports affect the aesthetics of existing architecture. I don't know if we're going to have this on the agenda in the future again, but I had brought these photos before, but this time I had brought photos of some of the existing carports in Guthrie that don't have, and I live across the street from one, but these are, for the most part, these are carports that, there's a couple in here that, and I think we've seen these before, but these are some carports, and I'll just leave this with you for, but most of these are, they're attached, they're flat, they don't really,
Less intrusive.
they don't really, when you're driving down the street, you don't even see them. They sort of disappear, and they pretty much exist comfortably with any architecture. And when in watching the meeting, I had seen where you all had sort of mentioned that you don't want to totally deny people the option of having a carport, but that it seemed to be the consensus that these, and I call them. Well, I think Cody mentioned it, that I had sent him a picture of a garage in a box that you can buy at Lowe. You can buy it in a box, and it pretty much looks just like some of these.
Well, again, we certainly don't want to deny one of our constituents an opportunity to protect their vehicle.
Absolutely,
But we
and
also
so that's
don't,
why I wanted to point out that there are some existing, relatively inexpensive possibilities that don't just
Protrude.
that don't just generally
stand out.
destroy
Stand
the
out.
architecture of
They need
the
to complement the
existing home.
neighborhood,
So I
they need
wanted
to complement the home.
I wanted to bring that as an example, and in fact,
Not just
you know,
Easy,
the
quick fix.
Wells house, I think that I got a picture of here. They live right across the street from me, and until this had become part of the discussion, I didn't even notice that they had one. It just sort of, and I'm sure it was an addition. But for the most part, they're attached to the homes. They're not a separate standing,
And of
they were
course-
added later.
And of course, we know they're supposed to complement the things that they
Yes,
already have.
and for the most part, I didn't find one flat roof and one that didn't on some levels, so that might be it.
Something
But
we
I also did like the fact that, in the notes from the last meeting, that perhaps it is something that should be brought to the commission for approval anyway, so.
Mr. Mosley, do you have something?
I'm so sorry, you're gonna kill me, because I told you
No,
I
no.
only had one more thing, but, when you see these types of things on future agendas, I just wanna put a reminder out there that, we can always reword, if you wanna see something specific added or kind of something taken away, we can always reword your recommendation, to city council, and so I just wanna have that in the back of your mind. And the topic that I really wanna bring to mind is, we are heavy recruiting new volunteers to join different boards and commissions. Our Historic Preservation Commission actually has a rule in the ordinance to where one of the planning commissioners has to, we have to have a representative from the planning commission on our Historic Preservation Commission as well. So we are heavily recruiting new volunteers. If you hear anyone that, doesn't understand what's going on.
Have we done that here? Because I would volunteer to sit on preservation too, if Joe didn't want to, I mean.
Well, of course, we've had that.
That's
situation.
Ann's done it till Ann's off and you're getting ready to be off.
I'm off, yes. Next meeting, next HP will be my last HP.
Okay, so I guess the next meeting we'll do an
And we're
appointment or
going-
something?
And we're going to need another member too.
Right. And I have one question for you, Cody.
There might be someone,
Have we figured out what this wooden building is beside the old boneyard down there yet?
No.
I happen to have a little information on that, only because
I
I
just,
talked to
it's,
Nat.
it's, you talk about an eyesore, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know
it
what they're
really-
doing, it wasn't approved by us to sit there, nothing's been done.
It
and
was
it's-
originally actually talked here 2 or 3 months ago, it was originally going to be, I was told, who's our donut and sandwich place out by the high school, what's her name?
Missy's?
Missy's.
It was going to supposedly be, according to the people there at the dry cleaners, a spot for her.
Yeah, she's
Well,
an
now
old
she has
dairy
since-
maid now.
Since she
Yeah,
has
for
now opened a new
grandparents,
one,
yeah.
and so it is continued to sit there, and it probably does need to be addressed, I would say.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Mr. Chatwood, do you know anything?
I have to recuse myself.
I know.
I think that's.
No, it's just been there and I asked Cody, what are we doing here? We didn't approve that to sit there and, but I
Is there not a
just,
permit involved at all from the city?
Not from that one, not for that structure.
I don't know if this is relevant, but I did recently have a conversation, and this might be something that needs to be addressed also, is that I was told that in the city of Guthrie, if you build a building that's under 200 square feet, that you don't have to have a permit. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
Really?
How about that?
but does it have to be approved? Through someone?
Because some are coming,
Maybe like a carport?
Huh?
So you can build a shed, you can do anything you want under 200 feet?
You
Is
can-
that what you're telling me?
if it has 4 walls and
Wow,
it's
so-
considered a building by the IBC standards, then yes.
Are we saying
But
in front of the
carports are
residence?
different, because those are considered the accessory outport, or, accessory
But so
buildings.
basically, you could build a building but not a carport, as long as it's under 200 square feet.
Sure.
And you could build 5 buildings in your backyard.
Yeah.
But are we saying that building would have to be
As long
So
as
that
it's a
Right,
little
that's
bit
right.
outside of the intent.
I know it goes outside
And
of
you
the
can tie them all
intent, but
together
I'm just
later.
saying,
Right.
that's a
Yeah, make a part of
possibility.
You're catching
Anyway,
on.
got
Excuse me,
it.
do I need to clarify that? Is that, if you're saying 200 square feet, that can be in the front of the home, or does that have to be
It
in
has
the
to
back?
be in the back.
Or the side of the
In
back?
But it can be anything you
Behind the
want it
building
to
line.
be.
Under 200 square feet?
Right.
Any color, any,
Shape, size.
any, any kind of metal.
Most,
I don't believe
I
it's
think that
metal.
may need
There's
to
no
be
metal
addressed.
now. There
most
may
of
be.
our
That's the
agendas
case.
have
That's-
a item for future discussion. We don't have that on this one.
Oh, yeah, so we shouldn't be
I don't want-
discussing it.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Should we add that for
someone-
discussion?
Someone can add that,
think
another
that's a
board
good
member,
idea.
Sure.
while we're still doing board comments, can ask that.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Well, comment-wise, if I may, going back to our carports and things, that is still going to be on either an April or, a May or June agenda, so we can pursue that a little further. The only other staff comment I'd like to make is thanks to Mr. Wood. It's been a
Absolutely.
pleasure having you, serving with you and being on our commission. We look forward to you on the city council.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure and an honor to sit here on the board and be part of the planning commission.
And
work with
although I didn't get
everybody.
to serve with you long, but I got to watch your meetings before, and I just want to say I appreciate your vision for Guthrie.
Well, thank you. I
And,
look forward to carrying that. Hopefully I can have a little more say in how it goes when I'm sitting
There
on
you
the
go.
council, so we can.
And just approve everything that we suggest.
If it comes from us, right?
Yeah.
Your days of being nice and calm are over with.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Something else for the next possible meeting. The last two meetings you've mentioned Nelson Heights and that current zoning is C2? Is that what it
I
is?
think it's actually C3.
Okay. Should we look at
Same.
that and look at doing it residential and changing the zoning on that to avoid having future problems with storage units and businesses and houses and other things we could possibly have because of that?
Would be interested, because they were platted and sold off as different ones. All of those different entities would have to come in and make that request.
That's the only way to change it to what it currently is what you're saying.
No, that's not the only way. I mean, technically, you could do hopscotch zoning. I think the zoning gods kind of frown upon that.
Right.
For spot zoning, but
Right.
technically, if you had 5 different neighbors and only 4 of them made the request, technically you can have 4 of those 5 in residential zoning. But something to maybe explore.
Yeah, it's worth looking into because I can see that opening a whole can of worms continually.
I don't think that those neighbors would have any problem coming in and making that request.
Okay. I think it's in their best interest.
Pretty nice neighborhood.
Yes.
The one thing that would stand
Letting
out.
things quiet down a little
Right,
bit.
and a lot of them may not know until this thing happened.
Right, and the one thing that would stand out from that would be, you're not guaranteed to counter the actual problem that's rearing its head because of the fact that the owner of the 1 or 2 lots that are there right now would need to be a part of making that request as well. So, and if he was interested in that, I think that he would have probably done it by now, but it's something we can absolutely look into.
All right, any other comments? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So made?
Second.
Motion is made and second, we are adjourned, thank you.